All right, welcome back to the Amato Report. Joining me this time is a longtime friend. Many of you are familiar with her. I've interviewed her many times over the years, but it's been a long time. I couldn't even tell you last time we connected for an interview. She's the online opinion editor at the Washington Times. Let's welcome Cheryl Chumley. Cheryl, good to see you.
Hi, Rick. It's great to see you again. Thank you for having me.
A lot I want to go over, but let me ask a very important question up front. First time we've connected in a while. I'm into health and fitness pretty heavy. You look like you've been working out or doing something different since last time I saw you. Am I wrong?
I do work out. It's true. Yes.
I see it in your face, Cheryl. Uh, it's recognizable. As soon as you came up, as the first thing that went through my mind. Well, that's good to hear. I'm glad to hear that. Um, one of the things you're following are the rise of the socialist candidates on the left in America. I want to get into that with you. And before we do, President Trump has said he is open to and wants to meet with socialist slash communist mayor of New York, Zoran Mondani. Is that going to happen, do you think, based upon your sources? And if so, could anything good come out of this, in your opinion?
So I think it will happen because Trump meets with about anybody, right? And I think it's a good policy on his part because I'm a big believer in keep your friends close and your enemies closer, right? I think that's a smart policy that President Trump uses. But as far as anything good coming of it, I think that Mamdani will try and spin it along with his partners in the media to show how out of touch the conservatives are with American needs, or how out of touch MAGA and President Trump are with New York City citizens' needs. But in the end, I think what's going to come is that President Trump is going to send a strong message to this socialist mayor's way that says, look, you can say whatever you want on the campaign trail and say whatever you want to your constituents. But in the end, in America, the Constitution rules.
How do you think it all plays out? I mean, you did a good description. I mean, are they going to become greater adversaries in your opinion?
Well, how could they not, right? I mean, you've got somebody who loves America in President Trump and who believes in the American exceptional principles. And then you've got somebody like Mamdani who says he loves America, but what he really means by that is that he loves the idea of ruling and controlling and exploiting America. And so, they're on a fast course to butt heads. And look at some of the things Mamdani has already promised to do: free transportation, free health care, free groceries, for crying out loud. So he's going to meddle in the private market. And now he's also threatened and promised to arrest Benjamin Netanyahu if Bibi ever comes to New York City, which of course he will because the UN headquarters are there, that he's going to uphold ICC, International Criminal Court, laws over America's laws and try and seriously arrest the Prime Minister of Israel.
I understand. I'm going from memory here. I don't have the notes in front of me, but I believe Mondami received one-third of the Jewish vote in New York City. How did that happen?
You know what? That's that's like the question of the decade, right? Or maybe even longer. Seriously, why do Jews in America keep voting for Democrats? So Democrats are the party of destruction and even death, right? When you throw abortion into the mix. But they're so anti everything about Israel. I don't understand how the Jewish people can continue to vote for Democrats. The only hint I get is that Israel was founded on socialist principles. And if you look at Israel, I've been there 3 times in the last 3 months. And
Wow.
yeah, I know. But but I know a little bit from being on the ground now about Israel. And if you look at the kibbutzes they have there, they're largely socialist. So socialism kind of runs through their veins. And
Yeah.
I think many Democrats in America just haven't gotten the message yet in the Jewish community how anti-Israel the Democrat Party has become.
Yeah, they really are. They really are. And it blows my mind.
Yeah.
And you explained it well when you said that the socialist roots in Israel. But yeah, it's always blown my mind how they get that Democratic vote. But here in the U.S., we see socialist candidates rising in prominence. What's going on there, and what's your take on all this?
Yeah, yeah, it's not just Mamdani, right? We have the socialist out in Seattle now, the socialist mayor out there, Katie Wilson is her name, and she's already come out and made statements that grocery stores in her city aren't going to be allowed to close or move out, even though she's going to try and implement the same free groceries and low-cost grocery price fixing in her city. So, what is going on? Why do we have open socialists in office? And I've written books about that, Rick, but just for a couple of quick bullet points, I would say first off, the dumbing down in our school system, right? Teaching that America is the problem, that the free market and the capitalistic system is racist and discriminatory against minors. But also, the bigger root here is the turn from God, right? If American exceptionalism is based on the idea that individual rights and liberties come from God, you need people in America to put God in charge, right? So as to keep government in a secondary position. And the more Americans go down a secular path, an atheist path, the more government grows. And this is what we're getting now.
Very, very interesting, Cheryl. You're the first I've ever heard say that, and it makes sense. Where do you think this goes? Do you think this socialist path continues to grow in America, or
I'm going to have to say yes. I do think it continues to grow. And a big reason is if you look at the youth, right? The youth has just become enamored with the idea of socialism. They see it as some sort of dreamy, let's all go along to get along type of governance and economic system. And they're not being taught in the public school systems about the absolute, deplorable state that socialism leaves in its path. People are turning back to God, so that is a little bit of optimism there. But American exceptional principles just aren't being taught, and that doesn't look good for our next generation of leaders.
and as you said, people are turning back to God, and as you know, I'm sure, we've seen a rise in church attendance since the murder of Charlie Kirk.
Yes,
Uh,
that's the ray of light there. Yes.
yeah, wow. What do you think? Is Gavin? I'm sure Gavin Newsom is tipping his toe in the water. What, you think he's going to be the Democrat that the party aligns behind?
Yeah, I do. He's not just tipping his toe and he's just, diving head first into the deep end. He really, this is a guy that he's just lusting for the White House. And you could see it years ago. You could see it all through his governor tenure, meeting with China, going to China, right?
Oh yeah.
To supposedly foster amicable trade relations. These are all things that yeah, a president would do, not a governor of a state. And now he's out there and he just takes on Trump whenever he can. So
Yeah.
he appears as if he's this hard-hitting type. So yes, I think he's running for president.
And he's termed out for re-election in California.
Good
Uh,
point.
I've recently interviewed Steve Hilton, the former Fox News contributor, and as you may be aware, Cheryl, it's pretty amazing to me. He's leading in the primary polls right now here in California, Republican Steve Hilton. Uh, you are the online opinion editor of the Washington Times.
Mhm.
You have your own podcast. Tell us about your podcast.
It's called Bold and Blunt, and I cover everything and anything just from a Christian conservative perspective. So, from United Nations issues and World Health Organization down to local school board meetings, whatever's out there that's of interest.
Interesting. I was not aware of the details of that.
Mhm.
Cheryl Chumley, and where do our viewers find your podcast at?
It's anywhere podcasts are available, but its home is the Washington Times.
Oh, it's at the Washington Times.
Yeah.
Good, good.
Yep.
All right, I cannot let you go without asking you. Tell us about your workout routine, and I got a feeling you're on a good nutritional diet too. That's
I
my hunch.
am. Yeah, I am. Yeah, I pretty much eat, fruits, vegetables, salmon, fish, all that good stuff. I run, I go to the gym, I go on long walks, I walk my dog, but I pretty much do everything. I really do like to run quite a bit. It clears my head.
Boy, do I understand that. It's showing. It's showing. It's been a few years, I suppose, since you and I have connected, but I see a difference.
Right.
And diet and exercise is good, but it's diet first, uh,
Yeah.
exercise second in terms of the priorities, and it's showing in your face. That's so.
Thanks, Rick.
Yeah. All right, Cheryl Chumley, we look forward to having you back. We'll see if I can twist your arm and make you a regular here, coming on a regular basis. And thank you for updating us on an important topic, the socialist movement in America.
Yeah, thanks for wanting to talk about it. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. All right, back with more of the Amato Report after this.